Okay, we're recording.
Great. So, welcome everybody to this presentation. Thank you, Annie. I'm here with Annie from the inclusion team in Montreal at Unity. She's based in California, actually. And we have the pleasure to be on the same team at Unity. It's a global team as the company. So, my name is Amélie. I am the university recruiter here in Montreal. And I'm really happy to come talk with you about internships because in the previous editions of the Queer Tech job fairs, I had a lot of colleagues here from Montreal who met with different students here and they had a lot of questions about internships. So we said, well, maybe it would be a good idea to present and give more insights and tips about how to land an internship in tech. So let's see if you can learn from our experience and the tips I wanted to share with you today. So the big question, we have a lot of students on campuses that of course wants to join Unity and different tech companies. There are different ways to reach that goal and gain this experience. I just prepared this presentation for you to learn more about it, and don't hesitate that you can ask us question in the chat, and also you can ask us question at the end of this presentation. I joined Unity in 2019. So I had the pleasure to be working at the office before the pandemic. So I know a lot of people at the company and a lot of different teams. So if you have any questions about how it works, I will be happy to do so. But today I didn't want to talk too much about Unity. I really wanted to provide insights and tips to just generally how to land an internship in tech. Of course, this is my insights are really from the fact that I had the pleasure to work with different groups of students at Unity, but mostly to interview hundreds of applicants, to review not thousand, but almost thousands of resumes, and really to see all kind of different profiles all across Canada, but also from different countries. So I don't know if you want to answer in the chat, but I was just curious if you are a student, how many applications did you do? Or maybe 200? We don't have any like key number. I am from the old school way of doing things personally. So me in general, I applied to a role that I think that I will get it. So I don't know if I was lucky, but I didn't apply to many roles in my life, even if I am a recruiter. And I didn't get a lot of rejections actually. So I really need to gain my own experience in that. But I come from social science, and that was my first role in tech when I joined Unity. So I didn't go through the internship program myself in tech. But the most important thing, I think that as myself with my own path from social science to tech, even if I am in a non-tech role, I think that it's always important for you to remember why you are applying to a role. I was saying that I used to apply just to the role that I am sure that I will get the positions, but it doesn't really work like that. But you should think about what kind of companies you want to join for your next step. Is it a big company, a small company? What kind of impact you will have? What's the mission of the company? And of course, what are like the challenges that you would like to tackle and learn from? What are the possibilities for you as career progressions, salary benefits, of course, if eventually you join the company after the internship. And also, of course, what's the culture of the company? Is it important for you? The social impact of the company, the inclusion policy of the company, and what kind of where the company is located. We live in the global world. We are in tech. Is location very important to you? Do you prefer physical or remote environment? And those are all very important questions to ask when you choose to land in an internship, on an internship. Of course, the motivations are really important. So I was talking about the team mission, but about your mission as an intern. But what's really important, I think, it's really the team in which you will be working, what you can learn from them, and how they work together. So you will see also how you can brush the skills that you have, how you can gain new skills, and maybe you would like to gain experience where you will remain a generalist and gain a multidisciplinary experience, or maybe you would like to join a more specialized role. I just wanted to bring that before we jump into like some tips for interviews. One of the questions that is very frequent, and I really laugh when I see that one, is, do I need a cover letter to really like make an impression and really get to be seen by a recruiter? I would say it really depends. I think that what's really important for you, it's really the missions and the why you want to join the company, and then how do you express it. It really depends. But I have a tip that I will share with you in the next slide to see if you really want to do a cover letter, because maybe it will not be read by the people you want to. So before everything, if you are very interested in a specific company, I would say just start early. If you look for an internship, you can look for open positions. You can look for talent pools where you can just apply anytime. You can also reach out on LinkedIn to recruiters or people who work in that company, ask for insights. About your resume, a good one pager is always working very well. And if you don't want to use a cover letter, you can always have like a paragraph at the top of your resume just to introduce yourself in lieu of a cover letter. So everyone who will open your resume will actually have a little blurb that is more personalized and maybe targeted to the company directly on this page. On the PDF, very simple tips, but I'm always like saving different resumes in different places. And I really like when in the title of the resume, you have your name, the year, just for us to be able to find it, because you just have to imagine that this file can just land anywhere on any computer of the company. Of course, what do we look on for internships? Yes, we can look at the GPAs, but I didn't even put that on the slides because for me, what's really important is to see the motivation and the passion of the students. So what are the hackathons that you participate in? What are the challenges, the competitions? What are the student clubs, community associations that you're part of? Do you have a personal website? And do you have a GitHub? Is the code clean? Do you have like finished projects in it? I know this is a lot for a student. I know you're studying, you have a lot of projects at school, but when we talk about projects and motivation, it can also be a school project that you really polished and you were really proud of. And I will also want to know, how did you accomplish like the task of this project? What did you do to really reach the goals? Did you work as a team? Did you have like good communication? Did you try new things for the first time? How did you overcome like the different technical challenges and human challenges as well to work on those projects? So, oh, a question. I see the questions and then whoops, they disappear. So I don't know if the person wants to ask the questions right now.
Oh yeah, sure. It can definitely be answered at the end. But I was wondering, is there a difference between internship resumes versus full-time ones? I've applied to a lot of internships, but now I'm thinking about full-time. Do I need to kind of change my resume to include less projects or remove student associations or things like that?
Yes, I think that as the more, it's my opinion. There is no like pure science to it, but I think that the more you advance into your career, you will have to remove some projects because they will become overall like less relevant for the overview on your profile. But then if you have projects that you want to showcase, you can always like put them in your GitHub or personal website somewhere else, where if we have a link to them on your resume, we can have a look at as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Did anyone else ask the question before I move on to the next slide? No.
What kind of projects can I submit? Like, is there any difficulty level for it?
What if I understand well is what kind of projects that you can
Yeah,
showcase?
yeah. Like, what kind of projects? Like, easy projects or intermediate projects or hard projects? Like, what's the difficulty level of it?
I think that the difficulty level, it really depends on the projects you worked on. I think the most important is really to showcase projects that you are personally proud of, because everybody is at a different level and at different stages in their life. So the role of a recruiter is really to find the best opportunities for the candidates and for the business, and to really match everything together. So if you're more advanced, you should get a more advanced position, and if you're less advanced, you can get also more like an entry level role or an internship position. So it really depends on where you are, and it's really important to be about yourself when you are in an interview, to know about it, to know about your strength, about where you are, where you want to go. So it will help the recruiters to know on which roles you could land eventually at the company.
So just for the sake of internships, the project can be kind of like simple and basic, right? But if I want to bag some job, like a serious role in the company, so I need to like level up even more for that.
Yes, it depends on what you have done. Some people can work on new projects to really reach a new level. I see that, for instance, in data science, data analytics, people can just invent and create their own project, so they can gain the knowledge while they do a project, like specific skills or knowledge that they would like to gain. They just do something by themselves from scratch, and then they can showcase it in a portfolio or on a GitHub, so the managers and the recruiters can have a look at it.
Can you like name some examples of any projects that I can submit? Any examples of projects? Like
I,
some projects that you have seen from other like other people who have submitted. Is there any example for it? So I can
but
get a better understanding of.
Yeah, well, I recruit for different kind of roles. So I saw students with a very like amazing website with a lot of projects, and they were applying for a full stack position. So I was like, wow, this website looks amazing. So I think this person really wants to go above and beyond, and then this person like had a personal blog in it. Like it was like a lot. Not all the students do that, of course, but then other people like Unity is a game engine and a 3D platform. So I see often portfolios of little games that people did for fun or more seriously as well. So it also depends on the role. If it's a full stack position, if it's a role that is regarding like games, or is it like a more like data analytics role? So maybe the person will want to use like a big data set and use it to make something out of it and to do a dashboard. So it depends on the roles, depends on your interests. But I think that before thinking of a specific role, if you do a project, uh, not thinking about recruiting, finding an opportunity, you should do a project that is meaningful to you and that will give you the opportunity to learn actually what you want to learn. And afterwards, like recruiters and companies, they will see what you have done.
Thank you so much for clarifying.
You're welcome. Good. So we were talking a lot about technical skills, but I really wanted to focus on that as well, because one thing that students can maybe not think too much about it is really the fact that when you start a recruiting process at a company, let's say a tech company, because this is the topic of the day, you will probably start your process either by doing a technical test, like a coding challenge, for instance, or most of the case to talk with a recruiter. And the recruiter is not a person that knows in general how to code or how to use the technology. They will really have your resume in hand. They will want to dig a little bit more into your your motivation, your passion, what you would like to do in your next step, and some things like that can catch the recruiter's eyes at the time of looking at different profiles in tech is really like how they get involved into the different fields of interest that they have. So, for instance, if you want to balance and not always focus on tech skills, but gain experience, that is really valuable for the area as well, and very valuable for you to network and connect and meet with people from your communities that are important to you. You can be involved into a community event. You can, for instance, volunteer for events logistics on committees about content. You can make proposals of workshops at different events with students, with professionals. You can attend tech conferences online or in person. You can attend company events. For instance, we used to have the Developers Days at Unity in person, the Unite conferences online or in person. You can, of course, as you do today, attend to Care Fair. And I put that in a little circle that is kind of parallel to that, but you can also find mentors in the tech company. So I think that those are ways and just ideas. You cannot do everything, and you need to decide what's important for you. But those are ideas and suggestions that you can just explore if you want to really dive into an area, understand more about the tech, about how the tech is done, ask the people you meet through those events and those opportunities of connecting with communities why they are there, how did they land to that job, what did they learn from their different experience in the past, and you can learn from that as well. So I think this is also important. And if you put some of those on your resumes, if you have the chance to have one or two of these things, I think that's great because the recruiter will see that as well, that you're really passionate about learning about tech. This is something that I am not personally very good at it, but I really want to share that because we see that a lot. Like you ask about like how some people can kind of make an impact and just catch the attention of a recruiter about like their GitHub or personal website. Of course, nowadays, like personal branding is more and more important. Not everyone can do it. Not everyone wants to do it, but I just wanted to say that of course, if you want to do your personal website, do it. If you want to use more the social media, do it. You can also follow influencers, of course, if you don't want to create yourself content. And this week, I was just reading an article on BBC because I always read BBC at night. I don't know why. I'm from Montreal, but I really like to read BBC. And there was an article about TikTok. How do you use it for career? People were really doing like making videos to kind of sell themselves in view of a resume. And of course, we see that more for the Gen Z or like the younger generations. But I think that those are all new ways to be present as well and to talk about yourself. But I have some, personally, I'm not totally sure if I would encourage anyone who applied, let's say, at Unity to create a quick video about themselves. I personally not feel confident about that, but those are new areas that people can explore if they want to. So before you start, and for instance, of course, like you have all the personal branding, but then you need to dig and learn a little bit more about how to land at more specific companies that you like. So you can do a list of the preferred or targeted companies where you would like to work. You can, of course, have a look at their career site, their company LinkedIn pages, also the recruiting blogs, the Glassdoor reviews. In the Glassdoor reviews, you can see a lot of everything, people who did interviews in the past and they want to provide feedback about their interview process after getting the job, after being rejected to a job. You can also see comments from the current employees and learn about the culture of the company. It's not perfect, pure science, but it can give you some insights about the company for sure. And how to prepare for the interview once you get it. So be aware of what are the interview stages. If the recruiter is not telling you what they are, ask, can I know more about what's going to be the interview stages? What should I expect? What is the timeline of it? Is there any coding challenge that I should do? When? How can I prepare? Is it timed? Is it not timed? Is it a whiteboard? How can I prepare for that? About the interviewers, ask, can I know in advance who they are? Can I get their LinkedIn profile? What do they do? What's their role? So you can really know with whom you will meet throughout the process. And you can review also, as I said before, like the candidate experience from past interviews that are present in Glassdoor that then can also help you prepare for the interview. And I also say, be relaxed, trust yourself. I think that once you get into an interview process, you're really close to get the job. And it means that you have like basically most of the skills that are required for the job. The recruiters saw the potential in you. So the answers should kind of be in you. You can prepare, you can think about the role, you can, of course, do some research in advance, but you technically should have most of the answers already with you. Typical like matchmaking, I just wanted to share, don't hesitate to read very carefully the job requirements. At Unity, we have a lot of different internship opportunities. Sometimes the differentiation between the different roles are really like tiny. So have a look at the requirements, technical skills that are required. What is your tech background? And be honest about where you are. Like, are you a beginner in C#? Are you like, do you feel comfortable in C++? What makes you like the most like proud of? Do you have like some strengths that you want to really put emphasis on? And how can you match it with this job? But also, how can you explain it from your past experience, your personal project, and how this new experience can help you grow those skills and really go to the future where you want to go. And in addition, I come back as well to the balance, between the technical skills and the human skills. So now I really wanted to emphasize on the company values. Each company has values. Sometimes it's really important for them. Sometimes it's less. Sometimes it's more like a corporate framework. Sometimes it's really lived on the day-to-day basis by the employees. So have a look at them, learn about them. Maybe it will help you know if it's a company that really resonates and look like a good place to work for you, and see on your side what are the human skills that you have, that you want to showcase, that you want to talk about, and how can you connect yourself, your human skills, with the company values. That can be helpful as well. So interview tips again, sorry. But yes, I wanted to give more like the technical questions. So how to rephrase a question in technical, how to look at the edge cases, how to give example, don't forget to look for improvement when you have technical skills, and don't forget to take notes during the interview. And if you have another idea later in the interview, you can ask follow-up questions. And typical tip as well for interviews, the STAR answer. So you have a question, you answer by giving a situation that you lived in the past or you envision, a task that you did or you would do, an action that would be taken by yourself and how with a team or not, etc. Which results you want to land or you landed in the past. And always look for improvement in your answers, because we are looking for people who wants to improve and who are also in a learning mode. Use your human skills. So connect with your interviewers, listen to them, be curious, ask questions, be confident, and be honest, be you. And last one, be excited about the company. As a recruiter, we always want to know who is the most excited about the job, the most excited about the company. We really want to provide an experience, an internship experience that's going to be meaningful for the person and that will help this person grow. So if you're not excited about the role, forget about that one and really focus on the one that you're the most excited about, because this is, I think, how you will get the job. That's it. So do you have any questions? It's a very quick overview. It's really from my own experience at Unity after talking to several students on different occasions. And of course, I'm always happy to answer to the students' questions.
I have one actually. I was wondering about like the last part of an interview where they asked you to ask questions. And I feel like there's a lot of like gray area about what the correct questions to ask are and what the wrong questions to ask. And so I was wondering, is it okay to ask about negative Glassdoor or negative press in general during the interview and how, for example, the company is addressing it, or is that a question to avoid?
But I don't know what can be negative, but if you go into a very specific like review from someone, maybe you can just think like, is this really like representative of what's happening in the company? Maybe you can ask about something like that, for instance, because it's like the restaurant review. Maybe 1,000 people will eat at this restaurant and be really happy. And then you have 2 people who give a bad review. And then everybody thinks that this restaurant is really like chaotic and not good, and maybe that day they had like a weather that was not their day and something happened and you don't have the background information about it. So review, it's like you take it, but you also use your own judgment. You can also read the media, the articles. So yes, you can ask about anything you want, anything that you think that's relevant for you in an interview process. But also, if you have a limited time, focus on the questions that will give you the insights that you really want to have. So you can find ways to ask questions that maybe will give you more insights than just like specific like detail. Maybe the detail is more important. I don't have like a specific case in mind, but it's just for you to find the formulation to get the information that you want.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Another question?
One last question. Does CGPA really matters for internships?
Does Unity, sorry?
The CGPA matters for internship.
Um, it depends on the company. So for us, we look at the GPA, but it's as any other like part of a person. It's really just one piece of the answer. So if a GPA, let's say, is lower, but the person has a lot of cool projects and is a very big fan of Unity, well, it can compensate. Or if I have someone with no experience with Unity and an amazing GPA and I see a lot of potential of learning, can also work. So it really depends on the person and how they present themselves.
So what you're saying is, if the person has a very impressive project, he'll get more chances of getting selected. So it applies for any other company. So also,
I missed one word. So if a
uh,
person has a project,
if a person has a project which is impressive than his CGPA, so will that person get selected?
but it depends of the role, because for instance, if you go to unitycareers.com and you have a look, let's say, at all the internships that we have on the students section, you will see that each job for us, it depends on the company, but for us, you can pretty much see what is kind of required and what is like the must have that we can say, or what are the nice to have things. And they are very different from one role to another role. So it's not just a matter of having a great project or a great GPA. It's really more about, does this person is a good like match for the role and what this person will also add to the team. And sometimes also we look a lot actually at the personality of the people. So if we have a team of like a lot of extroverted people and the energy is really intense, maybe we will look for someone who is more introvert and reflective and who wants to take a step back and bring the idea differently. Or if we have like a manager who is very introvert and he needs like a student with a lot of energy to bring it and bring the ideas and really like move things around during the summer, maybe that's what will make the difference at the end of the day when we select someone. So it's much more than project, much more than GPA. I think that it's really the whole profile that we will have a look at.
And actually, I'm currently staying in India. So is it possible for me to get an internship like as a remote work?
For Unity, unfortunately, right now we don't offer international like opportunities, except if you already have like the right to work in the country of work, or you are registered to a local university. But then for full-time positions, yes, we do have immigration assessors for full-time position. But for a 4-month internship right now, Unity is not ready yet to do it. But we can have other like opportunities to connect with the company. We have a lot of virtual events. We have a lot of different projects that we have. We have a social impact team as well that can have different partnerships in different countries in the world, and they can work with schools. So it's not only recruiting our action with students, it's more than that. So maybe you can also find different opportunities to get in touch. I know that we did have a student ambassador in India. Now the program has changed, so I don't know how it works, but there is a community of students and workers in India that are definitively in relations with Unity in different ways.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Other questions? We went a little bit over time, but I was really happy to connect and to share my insights and my tips. Don't hesitate to add me on LinkedIn if you want. If you have further questions, I will be happy to answer to them. And I hope you will have like good new ideas and maybe new inspiration on how like to connect with professionals in the industry, how to gain new skills, how to approach recruiting as well. But again, it was really from me from Unity. You can also learn from other recruiters at other companies. They have totally different processes. So you can really explore depending on what kind of companies you want to join, what kind of mission you would like to have within this company, and what you want to learn, which is the most important.
This was so much fun. Thank you.
You're welcome. So should I just leave like this?